All right, so good afternoon. My name is Sam, and I'm the Design Director for Climate Code for XCHacks Mini Vancouver. Today I'll be conducting the workshop Coding a Discord Bot. So I'll be going over a brief introduction into the world of Discord bot development. You'll be able to build your very own Discord bot using a beginner-friendly workflow while learning the foundations of Discord.py. You do not need a lot of knowledge of Python itself, as the programming language we will use is slightly altered. By the end of this workshop, you should be able to have a bot that can send messages, interact with users, as well as some options for even better features like embeds and buttons. So here is our agenda for today. So today's key ideas. We'll be going over just a quick Python check-in to get for a feel of your experience in Python, as well as an overview for those who might need it. Then we'll go over how to set up your Discord bot using the Discord development page and an online IDE named Replit. Then we'll be going over an event function and how to interact with members. Then we'll go over the command function and embeds, and then we'll be looking at a new feature called buttons. Then after that, we'll go over any issues you might encounter through your journey with your Discord bot, and looking ahead, we'll look at some future resources you can use to continue with your work. Okay, so here's just a little Python overview for those who might need it or those who aren't familiar with Python. So here we have just a little picture you can take if you need. And then so here we have ints and strings. So an int. Int is just short for integer. So this is any number that will be used for calculation and or measurement in the code. So for example, the number 7. Just to note, as with math, this is only for integers. So if you are to use something with a decimal, that would be considered a float in Python. Next, we have string. So this is any sort of text message. In our Discord bot, this will likely be all the messages that will be sent or all the messages that will be read. Strings must be in quotations or they cannot be read. For example, we have 1 apple in quotations. These can be single or double quotations. Next, we have variables. So if you've ever gone moving and you've had to write the name of your box with a lot of your little items inside, then that would be quite similar to a variable. A variable is just the title you give to a certain value. Next, we have conditionals. So that is, if this, then that, unless this. Certain code will be carried out if a requirement is fulfilled. So for a set of conditions to be tied together, and at the same time, use if for the first requirement, elif afterwards, and else if none of the prior requirements were fulfilled. So else would be kind of like the last straw. And for example, if message content was hi, we'll have the bot send hello back, else return, and in this case, return would be nothing. Okay, so let's begin. Just a quick note, if at any time you find any issues with this, let us know by sending us a message in our Discord server or sending in the chat. Okay, so step 1 is to create our bot on Discord. First, let's make sure you're logged into Discord right here, and then we're going to create our bot. So I'll link this now in the chat, but if you're not familiar, just copy this link. So that is discord.com/developers/applications. Okay, so let's click on this thing right here, new application, and then we'll press Discord bot. Let's see, version 1. Let's press create. And we have the main bot. You might notice that your bot is not actually in any sort of server or DM that you can access it in. So we'll need a server to test this out in. Make sure this is yours, as you cannot add bots to a server that you don't have managed server permissions for. All right, so let's go to this OAuth2 tab over here. Scroll down. So we have several scopes over here. We're going to click bot. Then we're going to go down to bot permissions. You might have to change this later on as you go on, but I'm just going to click the basics. So I'll type in send messages, embed links, attach files, read message history, mention everyone because it's where maybe you'll need this. You add reactions and view channels. So let's click copy here. And then to actually add your bot to your server or to open a new tab, paste this link that you just copied. And we'll see add to server. So I'll be adding this to the XCHacks Mini Vancouver server, but you can add this to whatever server you'd like. Now we're just going to make sure to authorize all the permissions and then just run through this CAPTCHA. And there you go. So if we go to the XCHacks Mini Vancouver server, I believe you can look down in the section. It's right here. Discord bot version 1. For this workshop, we'll be hosting our Discord bot on Replit.com, which is a user-friendly online IDE. So if you do not have an account with Replit, make sure to create an account here on replit.com/signup. So create a username, email, password, hit create account, and there you go. So our first step will be to open a new REPL with Python. So let's go to the home page of our Replit site. Let's click New REPL in the top left. And then you can see on the left side, we have this thing called languages. So we're going to click Python. And here you can select any other languages you like in the future with REPL, but for now I'll be using Python. And then on the right, we'll be naming our bot. So let's type it Discord bot version 1. And let's click create. So here is our REPL. You might be on light mode, so this might be a different color from what you might see. You can always edit this. And then our first step now will be to import all the packages we need. These will provide additional modules for us to program with, especially with Discord. So let's type in import Discord, import OS, from discord.ext, import commands, import async IO. This is just for time counting. You might need this later on. And then another suggestion would be to import something like random, because I like randomizing some of the responses sometimes. So let's first type in run. And this will load in all of our packages. Note that with Replit, sometimes they will have to reload your packages if it has not been active for a while. This is just something that occurs with an online IDE. So in order to fully connect our bot to this REPL, the key here is to copy the token from our bot in Discord to this REPL. Otherwise, the Discord bot will not connect and nothing will work. This token will be basically your password for your bot, so don't share it, otherwise someone might hack into your code or adjust the code of the bot and make it into something completely different from what you expected. So let's head back to the Discord developer portal and let's go to the bot tab. You'll see here, there's a site section called token. Click copy. And then now let's go back into REPL. So you'll notice here in REPL, you'll have several tabs, and let's click this secrets tab with that lock icon. And you'll see here, there's this thing with a key and a value. So this will be the name you will call on your token in your code without actually importing the password. And then value, you'll be typing in the actual password you have. So let's just type in token for our key. This is what we'll call on in the code. And then I will just copy paste in the token, but for privacy reasons, I'll be doing that off camera. And then once you're done with that, just click add new secret. Okay, so my token is now inside. And then after that, to fully connect it, let's just type in bot.run os.get and I'll write in quotations token. Now that should connect it. Next, let's name what our bot will be called as well as the prefix. So we're going to type in bot, and this will be the name it's actually called. You can change this to client, you can change it to cat, dog, whatever you want, but it will be what you call your bot in your code. So just type in bot equals commands dot bot, and then we're typing in our prefix here, command prefix equals, and then inside this quotation mark, you can choose what your prefix will be. I'm just going to use a $sign, and there you go. And if you want to add a case insensitivity so that there is no issues with capital letters and stuff like that, I'm just going to type in case insensitive equals true. And make sure the T over here is a capital T. Next, you might find that if you try to make a help command later on, you will actually have a different help command when you first check it. So just to adjust that, we're going to type in bot.remove _command, and in quotations, we're going to type in help. Okay, so that should be a little quick review for how to prepare your Discord bot. So let's just go over this. So step 1, open your bot on Discord. So create a bot application, select permissions, and then add it to your server. Step 2, add your packages. So it's import Discord and OS as well as other packages if you'd like. And then from discord.ext, import commands. Step 3, connect your bot to your REPL. So this is where you implement your bot secret token. And step 4, you define the bot variable and adjust preferences. So you give your bot the name to call it in the code, a prefix for commands, and changing the case to insensitive. And step 5, we'll be doing right now, which is the functions. Now the functions. So we have two main options to start with, @bot_event and @bot.command. So while bot event works based on events that occur in your Discord server, bot command will work on a command that you create. So this is pretty similar to things in V6, like you've seen, with like maybe !warn and stuff like that. So you can find the list of all of these functions in the Discord PY documentation, which I will share later. So many functions will start with either of these, followed by async def to define the function and a parameter. This parameter will be what the bot listens for. In this case, it's usually just the message. So our first function will be the startup message, which is the onReady function. So we will set this to send a message to our Replit console once the bot is online. So let's type in @bot.event async def to define the function on_ready, and then we'll put a little parentheses here. Then we're going to have the console print something in here, if you're not aware what the console is, once the bot is up. So let's type in print, oh, that is not print, print, and then in quotations, I am online. And now let's try this, hit run. You can see here it says I am online. So now let's try out the onMessage function. Basically, the bot will listen for and react to certain events, even if there is no prefix like with the $sign. So we're going to do, just for starters, a hello message. So let's type in @bot.event async def on message. And then in this parentheses, instead of leaving it blank, type in message, so the bot will search for the message parameter, and then colon. Now we're going to type, if the user who sent the message is the bot, we're going to tell the bot to not do anything so it doesn't constantly respond to itself. So if message.author equals bot.user return. So if you'll notice here, I'm using 2 equal signs. This is to check if two things are the same. So now let's go out of that little tab. Next, we're going to have the bot react to a greeting. So first, let's type in elif, and then we're going to type message.content. So this will basically be whatever the user sent. And then I'm going to type in something lower, and then .strip. And you'll notice here, I'm writing .lower and .strip. This is telling the REPL to remove the content of any extra punctuation, like these, and also to lowercase it. So now that we have this in, we're going to say if message content lowered and stripped of any punctuation is in, and in here I'm going to write something called a list. So you can see here I have square brackets. This is to define what is inside the list. And then to separate each object, you just use a comma. So I'm just going to write if the message content is in a list of the following objects. So hello, hi, hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Basically, this says that if the message content was in any of these words, then we will react to it. So let's type in a colon. And then we're going to say await message.channel.send hello world. And you'll see here, this exactly right here is what you say to get the bot to send a message. Okay, so let's press run. So we're going to go over to the bot testing channel, and then I'll type in hello. And you can see the bot here says hello world. So that's a pretty good feature for entertainment reasons, but what if we want the bot and the user to kind of have a conversation sort of thing? So let's make a new command. And this command will be if the user ats or pings the bot, then the bot will react a certain way. So it's first, so we're going to write elif bot.user.mentioned in message. So this means if the bot was mentioned in the message, this is what it will do. So let's write in first. For this kind of thing, we are going to be using something called the wait for and the def check functions. So to do this, we must kind of define what the channel is. So we'll start with channel equals message.channel. And this is important because we will be checking on the channel later on. Next, we'll type in what the bot will originally say. If the user pings the bot will say await message.channel.send, and then it will say hello, how is the weather over there? And now we're going to write this thing called def check M. And this M is basically the message, but it has to be a letter M instead. So we're going to say return m.content and message channel equals channel. So this is saying we're telling the bot to remember what's inside the message content after this message, so the third message sent, and the message channel. Now we're going to write message equals await.bot bot.wait for, and then we're going to say in here, we're going to look for, not in capitals, message. So afterwards, we're going to have, oh sorry, do not put a dot here. I believe that should work now. Now we're going to do what the bot will say afterwards. So say await message.channel.send, and we're going to do this, we're going to put quotations, but we're going to put an F, because this way we can actually include sort of things that the user might have said or things that we don't actually know. So we're going to write in F, and we're going to say, I wonder how it feels to have, and then we're going to write this little squiggly brackets in here. So inside this, we're actually going to say what the user said about their weather in the server. So we're going to say message.content.lower. We're going to put just this as before. And you'll notice with the strip, I'm using a singular quotation lines instead of the double ones. And this is because if you use a double quotations inside of a string, they will often counter with each other and mess it up. So let's make sure to never use the same quotations inside each other. So we'll just type in the punctuation I want to remove. You can always change this. And then outside of that, I'm going to say, I wonder how it feels to have whatever weather they say, and then weather. It's mostly cool here. And then outside of the string, make sure you type in dot format message. So this is saying to give it the message format. Okay, so this should work. Let's run this again. So I'm just gonna, so you can see here that the bot reacts and says how it feels to have good weather. It's mostly cool here. So let's try this again. Now I'm going to say that the weather is cloudy with a ... And you can see here, it says, I wonder how it feels to have cloudy weather. It's mostly cool here. So it still takes out all the punctuation and it says exactly what we want to say. So that's one way of doing it, but you might notice that the user sometimes doesn't actually react afterwards. So what happens if that is the case? We're going to add this little time thing, and this is where the async IO package comes in. So let's type in, right here, we're going to type this new thing called try. So this try thing is going to be try and accept. So we'll be checking for an error, and if the error or the exception occurs, something will happen. And if not, it'll just continue in a certain way. So we'll type try, and then we'll put this under try. Oh, not delete. We'll put it under try. We'll tab this, and this will put it underneath the try. We're going to type something else in here. We're going to type in timeout equals 20.0. So this number right here is how many seconds you're going to be waiting for before you time out the bot, and then it says something else. Right here, we're going to write the error. So you might think, what would be the error then? The error is not actually an error to say, but it is actually the timeout error. So if the time goes over 20 seconds, that's what the error is. So if it goes over 20 seconds, why did it delete? We're going to say await message.channel.send. Oh, bye then, because this is assuming that the person did not respond to us. And then now we're going to say else. So if the error doesn't occur, we're going to put this in. And we'll just tab this. And that's it. So let's press stop and then enter to reset it again. Wait until it goes online. Okay. Now let's try at Discord bot version 1. I'm going to say it's sunny. So it works, right? And then we're going to type in Discord bot. Let's see what happens if after 20 seconds I don't respond. And you can see here it says, oh, bye then, because I did not respond, so it assumes that I have left. And that's one way of using the bot event function, as well as an introduction to the wait for function and this def check. So just a quick review. Event functions, so we have the on ready, so once your bot boots up, send a message to the REPL console. And then we have the on message, so your bot will listen and respond. Now let's go over the bot command. Go back here to our REPL. So now there's one thing you must do if you want to have both bot event and bot command functions in your REPL. So let's press enter and make sure you are outside of all of this try except and else. So let's go down here. And then we're going to type in await bot.process underscore commands message. So this tells the bot to wait for all command functions to occur first before doing the message functions. That way they don't overlap each other. Okay, as I said before, bot command works on commands that you code rather than something like an event. So the step to name your command would be in this spot right here. So instead of on message or on ready, you actually say your command. So let's start doing that. Let's type in at bot.command. And after this, you write a parentheses, and this is just to make sure it's your command you are talking about in the code. And then let's define the function. Let's make an info command. And inside the parentheses, instead of message, you'll be saying context, because you might be requiring something more than just a message, like kind of the channel is sent in or something like that. So let's type in ctx colon. And then now we're going to write the info about the bot. So let's write await. And instead of message, we'll type in ctx.channel.send. So basically, ctx, you'll just be using it instead of message for this one. And then inside that, we'll be writing the quotations. I am a bot with so many functions. Let's run this again. And now we see it's online. It took quite a while. Let's go back here, and then let's try out the info command. And you can see the bot responds. So we could just leave it at that and just say await channel send, but I would like to teach you how to use embeds. So let's start with that. So let's delete first our text here. And then now we're going to make an embed. So embeds are basically a fancier way to send messages. They have several sections and even option of using images. So to make an embed, first type in embed equals Discord dot embed. Yeah. And let's put parentheses. We're just going to press enter. And then here we're going to be writing the main kind of objects of our embed. So let's type in title equals, comma, description equals, comma, and then color equals. So you'll see here we have title, description, and color. So a title would be the title of your message. Description would be kind of the subtitle, and color would be the color on the left side. So if you take a look here at our announcements channel, you'll see this purple color. This would be what you're defining as. So for title, we're going to write in our string, actually. We're going to write info over here. And make sure you're using a string. I'm going to write, I am a bot with so many functions. And now we're going to choose the color. So you'll notice a bit differently. We're actually not just going to type in the color. We have to write discord.color and then .purple and then a parentheses. So in here, instead of purple is where you would replace your color with the color you'd like, but I'm going to use purple. Okay, now that we have the embed set, we have to tell the bot to send it. So let's type in await ctx.send embed equal embed. So it's saying the embed to look at this one. So now let's press rerun. try that again. Go back to bot testing channel. Let's try info. You can see here, instead of just this, we have an embed with a title, subtitle, and a pretty color. So this is not only the feature of embed. You'll notice in other bots and with our main bot, there are many other features like images and several sections. So to do that, let's just show an example. To add an extra kind of section to your embed, type in embed.add underscore field, parentheses. Why did I go with parentheses? Enter. And then we're going to add another section. So let's write name equals, value equals, and then inline equals. So unlike this, we have a bit of a different formatting. So we have the name, which is the title. However, it will be smaller because it is more of a semi-title. The value, which is also the description of this section specifically. And we have inline. So inline basically tells the bot whether to put the extra fields in kind of a sorted out format or per line. So if you'd rather have one extra field per line, just keep inline as false. And if you want the embed fields to be all kind of sorted together, like perhaps a stack of 3 in a row, then just don't add inline in this section, or write inline equals true. So let's write our name, and let's say in this one, how to call me. Use the $ prefix to find more about me and ping me to chat. So now that we have a field, let's just add some extra stuff we can do. So let's write extra details. We're going to do embed.set underscore thumbnail. And then we're going to write embed.set underscore footer. And type in a thumbnail URL. And then now in here, we're going to do something, type icon underscore URL. And this will just put the same thing. And then comma text. So here you can actually write a text for your footer. So I'm just going to put a smiley face and say, thanks for visiting. Yes. Now let's press enter, and then we have the await sign at the bottom. Oh, and we actually have to write URL equals over here in order to get this to work. You can see here we have our logo on the top and bottom, info, description, name, this is value, and here we have the footer. So just a key thing, I almost forgot about this actually, make sure to always explain what each thing is. So you have the URL, an icon URL, and text. That is the key. Okay, so just a quick review. This title, description, color, name, value, and whether you want to, how you want to sort it. And then the thumbnail, URL equals your URLs in the quotations, icon URL in quotations, and then the text, so quotations. And then make sure to write this at the end. So let's write a little quick review of embeds as well as command function. So info, a prefix is needed in Discord for these functions to start, async def info. And they have the embed section over here. Okay, so now let's go over a new feature Discord just added a few months ago. So these are buttons. So I'm just going to show you quickly how to use buttons. We're going to be using buttons using a Discord library called Discord-components. This is an unofficial library as Discord PY does not have Discord buttons yet. You can see here. So as you can see from Discord's official documentation, we have 5 button styles, all of which would be used likely as functions, except for the last one, which will be taking you to a link. And then we have over here what they look like. So as I said before, Discord Components is an unofficial library as Discord.py will be including buttons in version 2.0. So once the button arrives, the code that I am showing you today might change. So let's go in here and let's import our buttons packages. So first, let's go to packages, and we're going to search up Discord.components. So if you're not familiar, it's just above the secrets tab, and it has a little box. See here, Discord-components, press add. Over on the right, it's loading it in. And as well in here, let's type in import from Discord underscore components, import Discord components, button, button style, and then interaction type. So I believe right now it's still loading this in, so let's just wait for that. Okay, so let's start with a link button to start. So one key thing you'll notice, similarly to how we had to add await bot process underscore commands, we're actually going to include something to tell Discord to recognize this components package. So it's right in the onReady function, just underneath Discord components bot. So that just tells it to be aware of it. Now let's make a link command, bot.command, async def link, that's just what the name of it is going to be, ctx. And here we're going to write the button. So let's write await ctx.send. First, I'm just going to say, here's the link to our website. And then here is the key to create the button. So let's write components equal, and then a square bracket. In here is where we'll write the button. So let's write button, and in parentheses, we're going to write first style equals 5. So if you've noticed, this is actually the same thing as the value here. Let's write style 5, and then we're going to write comma label. This will be what the text is on the button. So I'll write click me. Okay, and then now we have the URL. So let's type in URL equals, and I'm just going to paste in that's in here the link to our website. So go click this if you'd like. And here we have xehacksmini.com. Yeah. Okay, so let's press enter, enter, and at the bottom we need to tell the bot to wait for a button click. So let's type in await bot.wait underscore 4. And instead of message, like we've done up here, we're actually going to write button underscore click. That's online now. Let's press link. You can see right here, there's actually the link to our website. Let's press this. Click me. This link will take you to Hacksmini. And there we have our website. So now let's create another button, not just the link button. Let's go for the function kind of style. So let's do another one at bot.command, async def, and this will just be a button. The purpose of this is just to show you how buttons work. So you can use it for anything. So wait, ctx.send. This is a button. And then components, once again, button, style equals 1. And if you take a look at the documentation, this is actually the purple or the primary button. And label is also click me. And then instead of URL, we're actually just going to leave this blank. That's it. You can use any styles 1 to 4 for the button. I'll just use style 1. And then now we're going to write something a bit different than what we wrote here. Because we want the bot to react afterwards, we're going to write interaction equals. So then this will be kind of the variable. Await bot.wait underscore 4, and similarly button underscore click. Then now underneath that, let's press enter. And then we're going to write something called await interaction respond. Content equals button clicked. So this means that if someone presses the button, it will say respond. And inside the content is the actual text, so it'll tell you button clicked. Okay, so let's press stop, rerun again. And then now let's go here, let's type in button. See, click me, and you'll see, only to me, it'll say button clicked. So I believe you can adjust this to whatever you'd like. So the key with this is that bot wait for must become a variable, or you won't really be able to respond to it later on. So now that you know the fundamentals, I'm just going to show you one small way that I used it to make a kind of very fun, interactive sort of feature. So I'm just going to copy this in. So I've just pasted this in, this number command. So over here we have just a quick explanation. You choose the right button with a number on it, and you might win, you might lose. So you'll notice over here, something I didn't have with the buttons in the beginning is this ID. So this ID is what you'll call it later in the code. So you'll notice here I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These IDs are very important, so I can call on them later on depending on which button is chosen. So we have a list of numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which coordinate with these here. And then we have number choice. So number choice is a randomly chosen number from this list. And you'll notice this is where the random package comes in handy. Now we have the interaction. So if the component ID, so if the button ID chosen from 1, 2, 3, or 5 is in this list, and then if the component ID is equal to the choice chosen, so if the button chosen was 1 and the number chosen was 1, then we have an embed saying you won. And if that didn't happen, we have this Discord embed that says you lose. And the number was whatever the number was, using an F string and this little squiggly bracket here. Try again next time. And then we have the color over here. And then we have an embed that just says a smiley face, and then we have the sending. So let's stop this and rerun just to load it in so I can show you how it works. Let's try number. You see 1 to 5 and press 3. And it says I lose because the number was 1. And it does say this interaction failed, but that does not appear to be an issue. This might be updated later on. If you find any solutions, to go ahead and let us know. So now I'm just going to show you a little quick explanation of our official bot and what it looks like. So you can see here, it says Climate Code participant, and there's a new bot. So this is set that during a certain time, a certain message will be sent. And you can see here, this is my workshop. And then we also have, let's see, FAQ. So you won't be able to see it, but if you type in over, let's try it in bot testing, or in, let's see, in bot spam, let's go in and type $FAQ, and you can see that this very complex, detailed embed is sent. So this is basically the embed field, and then all the values and stuff like that. And you can see it's just a bit more detailed. Now I'm just going to show you some. So you can see here it's just more detail. So click review. We have link buttons and function buttons. So you'll notice URL is unique to the link button, and kind of similarly, interaction is unique to the function buttons. Note that these titles are unofficial. I made these up so that it would be a bit easier for you guys to understand. So let's go over some common issues that you might occur with your bot. So problem number 1, your bot won't stay online. So this is the case with the free plan and Replit. All free REPLs will go online after 1 hour of inactivity. If you purchase the hacker plan, you'll have an option to keep your REPL always on in the top left. However, there are some free options to keep your bot online. First option is to move your project onto your own computer, push your code to GitHub, and host on Heroku, which is a cloud hosting site with both free and paid options. The issue with this is that if you're not as familiar with downloading Python, putting your code into Python on your computer instead of in Replit and using GitHub, you might find yourself lost in the process. Another free, somewhat easier option is to use uptimerobot.com. You'll have to import Flask and Keep Alive, which are two kind of packages, into your REPL, write a bit of code, and have Uptime Robot ping your REPL every few minutes to keep it active. Your REPL may still go offline once a day for a few minutes. However, I personally think this is a faster option and prevents you from having to download and reset up your entire bot on a different IDE. Problem 2. Your buttons can't be used by more than one user. With buttons, it really isn't possible for buttons to be pressed by someone other than the user the bot said. For game commands, you can have 2 different users and go back and forth between them. Unfortunately, on the larger scale, this might not work. It's better to use reaction emojis and the wait for function instead if you want to have a lot of people. So problem number 3, your bot is being rate limited. So at some point, Replit will be rate limited as it is site around the world. So the main solution to this is to move your hosting off of Replit, which is similar to problem number 1. And in this case, you would have to use only the Heroku option, not Uptime Robot. Okay, so thank you once again for attending this workshop. I'll always be checking for questions, so don't worry if you have any. And looking ahead, you'll find these are only the basics to Discord bot programming and that much more is to be discovered. So for more information, you can visit the works I've cited over here, as well as you can always use Google or search online, or just ask us if you have any questions. Just message us on the XC Hack Community Vancouver server. It should be in the email already with the pre-event workshop, as well as several other emails, including Climate Code 2021. All right, so thank you very much. I hope you all have a good day. Bye.